The room went quiet before he even finished speaking. That kind of quiet. The kind that isn't silence, but pressure. Dozens of eyes. My coworkers, my team. People who once shook my hand, now pretending to check their phones. And at the head of the table, him, my wife's father, the CEO. He leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled, mouth curved in something that wasn't quite a smile. "Leave if you want," he said calmly. "You'll be back begging within a month." A few people laughed. Soft, nervous. I didn't. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. I felt something colder slide into place, like a door locking behind me. I stood, straightened my jacket, and met his eyes. "Start counting," I said. Then I walked out. I remember the elevator ride down more than the words. The way my reflection stared back at me. Controlled, blank, already somewhere else. My phone buzzed. Messages, questions, one from my wife. "What happened?" "Dad says you embarrassed him." I didn't reply. Outside, the city kept moving like nothing had changed. But something had. I already knew I wasn't coming back. The humiliation hadn't started in that room. That was just the public version, the clean version, the one everyone could see. The real betrayal had been quieter. Months earlier, subtle corrections in meetings that weren't corrections. Ideas I brought that showed up later with someone else's name on them. Promotions that passed over me without explanation. And at home, the way my wife had started speaking about my career like it was a phase. "You're lucky to even be there," she'd say. "Dad gave you that job." No, I earned it. But they needed me to believe I hadn't. That was the manipulation, slow, surgical. I started noticing the looks, the shared glances between her and him when I spoke, the way decisions were made before meetings even started. I wasn't family. I was an asset, temporary, replaceable. And the night I overheard her on the phone, voice low, gentle in a way it hadn't been with me in months. I understood. Not everything, but enough. "I know," she whispered. "He doesn't suspect anything." She saw me standing there. Didn't hang up fast enough, just smiled. That was when the marriage ended. Not with shouting, with clarity. After I left the company, I left the city. No dramatic exit, no social media posts, just a lease termination, a one-way flight, and a job offer I'd quietly secured months earlier. One I never told them about. Different industry, different city. Triple the salary, no nepotism, no leash. I worked like a machine, long hours. No distractions. Every success tasted sharp and clean. Every paycheck felt like confirmation. They tried calling. First my wife, then her father. Missed calls, voicemails. I deleted them without listening. Silence is a strategy. A few weeks later, my assistant knocked on my office door. "There's a delegation here for the merger talks," she said. "Their CEO insists on meeting you personally." I already knew. The conference room was all glass and steel. Neutral ground. Perfect lighting. I walked in last. He stood when he saw me. Surprise flickered across his face before control snapped back into place. My wife sat beside him. She looked thinner, tired, older. We shook hands. Firm. Professional. No recognition in my expression. None. As the meeting progressed, I watched them unravel in real time. They didn't know I was the final decision-maker. They thought I was still the same man who needed approval, who needed family. When the numbers came up, I spoke. Calmly, methodically. I dismantled their proposal without raising my voice, exposed inflated forecasts, questioned leadership stability, highlighted internal conflicts I knew about because I'd lived them. Her father's jaw tightened. My wife wouldn't meet my eyes. Finally, he interrupted. "You seem very familiar with our internal structure," he said. I leaned back. "I should be," I replied. "I helped build it." Silence. I slid a folder across the table. My credentials. My current valuation. The offer on the table, conditional. I stood. "This merger doesn't benefit us," I said. "But I'll make an exception." They waited. "For full autonomy," I continued, "and your resignation." His face drained of color. My wife inhaled sharply. I looked at her for the first time. "Also," I added, "I'm filing for divorce. You'll receive the papers today. No anger, no triumph, just execution. The meeting ended early. I didn't watch them leave. Weeks later, I heard he'd stepped down. Quietly. The board cited personal reasons. My wife moved back into his house. The marriage dissolved without a fight. There was nothing left to argue over. Sometimes I think about that room, the laughter, the certainty in his voice. I imagine him counting. 1, 2, 3. I don't feel satisfaction, just distance. The kind that lets you breathe. The kind that proves you were never replaceable, only restrained. And now, I don't look back. I don't need to. They lost me long before I left. I just made sure they felt it when I was gone.